Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Vintage at the request of Patreon subscriber John, who gave me a dealer's choice to do whatever I want in the Vintage format as we all prepare for the NYSE Open on June 6th. Power 9 prizes to the entire top 8, insane tournament. If you play Vintage, make an effort to be there. Links in the video description. For this dealer's choice, I chose to play Jeskai Paradoxical Outcome. This is a deck that I love very much. I top eighted the last NYSE Open and won a time walk with this deck. I've taken it to multiple Eternal weekends. This is pretty much exactly what I want out of a Vintage deck. We have all the busted mana. Look at this whole line on the deck list. This is all, except for Soul Guide Lantern. I wish I could rearrange this and put Black Lotus on this line, but there's an entire line of fast mana, broken artifacts in this deck. We have the ability to win on turn 1 with our nut draw. We have the slow grindy strat. We got Swords to Plowshares in the same deck as Paradoxical Outcome. Just those two cards coexisting together. This is like if Oops All Spells also put Fatal Push in their main deck because they had 2 gears, but obviously that deck doesn't have 2 gears. This one does. Combo control is exactly what I want to be doing in Magic if I can have it all my way, and it's been a while since I visited this deck, just getting back into the Vintage swing of things. Haven't put a lot of time into the format since Eternal Weekend season last year. I pulled this list from MTG Goldfish from the 5-0 dumps. Hexing Squelcher is the new card since the last time I played the format. Otherwise, this deck, basically the same, but Hexing Squelcher, big change. I've seen anywhere from 0 to 3 in lists. I know Justin Gennari did not have any copies in his list that I saw when I was poking around just now. Some people have them split, 1 and 1 in the sideboard. Some have 2 in the main. Some have 1 in the main, none in the sideboard. Kind of all over the place. I picked this list because it had 2 in the main, and I just want to see how this card feels more often. The other crazy piece of technology in these lists, and this appears to be from Japan, the Japanese tech. Anyone who's played Vintage for more than 5 minutes knows that some of the coolest tech comes out of Japan, and a number of players who I know are from Japan have shown up in the deck dumps with 4 copies of Commandeer in their sideboard. I'm a little suspicious, but I do want to try the crazy thing. This is like a super Force of Negation. Exile 2 blue cards from your hand rather than pay the spell's cost. Gain control of target non-creature spell. You may choose new targets for it. This is kind of heavy because if we look at the Vintage metagame, the Lurrus control decks don't have anything you'd want to steal. Dredge doesn't have anything you'd want to steal. Sphere shops don't care if you steal their non-creatures. And if I could take a Scrawling Crawler from them, I would, but it's non-creature. And taking, like, Thorn of Amethyst from them, it doesn't matter who controls that card. It's universal. So this is pretty much just for combo mirrors. Like Jewel shops. I'm very happy to take their Coveted Jewel. In the mirror match, pitching 3 cards to steal a stock up, like you get their stock up and then you replace 2 cards, so it's kind of a 3 for 3. I don't know, like it's kind of sus. Stealing a Paradoxical Outcome is pretty cool. You do get to pick new targets for the copy, or it's not a copy. You take the spell and you change the target, so it's not like they pick up all their moxes and you draw that many cards. PO's not structured that way. You do have to change the targets to your stuff, and then you pick it up and you draw the cards. I think it's wild to see this card at all, much less as a 4 of, but I'll try the spicy tech in one of these testing leagues. That's what they're for. Classic Jeskai Lurrus PO with Hexing Squelcher and Commandeer. Let's try it. I'm on the draw in round 1 versus a non-Lurrus strategy. I don't think I can ever mulligan this hand, though I am shields down if my opponent dumps some mess into play right now. Fisher's Workshop, probably not a great sign. Ox Ruby. Yeah, we might be having one of those play draw experiences. Ugh, Scrawly Crawly. That guy's pretty good. Okay, is this Raker Shops then, if they have Sensei's Top? Yeah, Scrawly Crawly does hurt me a lot for doing what I wanted to do anyway, which is cast Ancestral Recall. I guess that motivates me to cast Thundertrap Trainer instead. If this hits a Mox, I also have Ancestral up anyway. Alright, Thundertrap, get after it. Mana Crypt, count it. Yeah, this is a lot of damage, but I'm in, because this also now casts stock up on my turn. And I've looked at 10 cards this turn without drawing a card. Or I guess I drew one of them, technically. This is that PO deck at work. Okay. Force of Negation, I think I want. And Hexing Squelcher shouldn't matter. Paradoxical Outcome, I can take some amount of damage from Scrawly Crawly and just suck it up. Yeah, alright. PO, you're in. Not a bad first turn. And I get to draw another card on my opponent's turn. Spinning the top in the upkeep, I like that. That means they're looking for stuff to do. It also taps them out of non-artifact mana. Obviously, they have cards in hand and stuff, but... Ooh, found a Force of Will. Okay. And Sensei's Top feels underwhelming when you have to redraw 2 of the 3 cards. I mean, it's cool that you get to see new cards with top every turn, but still, underwhelming, mediocre. All right, I'm not fighting over Soul Rings. Spinning top again, hell yeah. I do know that my 4th Aerolingus is near the bottom of my deck because I put it there with Thundertrap Trainer. I have the 3 cards from stock up and then 3 cards from Trainer. Do I force a negation this? I would pitch, I guess, Sink into Stupor to do that. Yeah, I'll pick a spot here. If I didn't also draw the Force of Will, I might have sandbagged that a little bit. Ooh, look at that. Great sequencing. Opponent hiding what they're capable of. Okay, this card, with no way to untap it, I guess has to be okay. Flipping their top. Manifold Key. Alright, Force Pitching Lorien revealed. I hope the other card in hand isn't also Manifold Key. That would be so sick. Okay, cool. They didn't have a second key. Now, I have to do a little bit of math here. I could block and save 3 life if I think drawing 3 extra cards next turn is going to be the difference, but this Trainer is something I can pick up with Outcome. I go to 14, then I go to 13, then I draw 4, I'm at 9, then Ancestral, I'm at 6. I'm not going to block. Alright, deck. Oh, I forgot about Mana Crypt. That could have fucked me. Shit, I'm at 11. That is 3 damage I did not account for. Oh, is killing Scrawling Crawler with Flame of Anor better than my other options here? Like, I could just blow up Scrawling Crawler and Time Vault right now. Interesting. I could PO and have access to the same mana after that, but I wouldn't necessarily have Thundertrap Trainer. Like, I could PO for less. If I PO for just 3, then nothing changes, but I still have all my options. I think I'm going to do that. Maybe I'm being a coward here, but I'd rather be a live coward than a dead hero. I go to 7, and I picked up a Force of Will, which I guess I'm happy to see. I replay all this shit. Blue to colorless, scroll, get Flame of Anor, red, blue, 5 to target creature and destroy target artifact. Destroy Time Vault, kill Crawler, and I'll just attack for 1 here, and hopefully win the game easily next turn. The Sensei's Top is back. I'm not fighting over that. I also could have Flame of Anord in the upkeep. Alright, what's Tez gonna do here? Vexing Bauble, maybe? Yeah, I just don't want Tez in play. Alright, Force Pitching stock up, and I might go to 3 in my upkeep. The Sensei's Top with 4 mana still kick in. That's a little bit spooky, actually. Alright, cool. Just didn't do anything with it. Winning a crypt flip here would give me a lot of comfort. I would like to be able to pass the turn at least once. No chance. Love that for me. Snapcaster. That one's really good. EO for 4. And now we're cooking. Lotus. Opal. Ruby. Crypt. Crypt plays Soul Ring. And with Black Lotus here, I can afford to do basically everything, so I will rip off the Ancestral now. Found Mox Sapphire, that sets everything free. Okay. This game should be difficult to lose from here. But we'll see if I can figure it out. Okay, I could spend the Lotus to get Thundertrap Trainer in play, but I kind of just like snap PO here. Because I have 2 POs in the graveyard, and the PO picks up the snap, which does everything. Snapcaster Mage, target Paradoxical Outcome. Yeah, that's a safe place to concede. Off we go. Okay, looks like we've got some Raker Shops in the chat. A Braid and Swords to Plowshare is solid here. The Commandeers could get Sensei's Tops or Tezzeret's from this deck. Hexing Squelchers not for this matchup. Soul Guide Lanterns out. Not really trying to Vexing Bauble them either. There is a clean map right here without messing with Commandeer. And do I need all 4 plows in? I could go 3 plow and get 1 Commandeer in the stack for funsies. Try it out. Okay, let's do it. Oh, these Flusterstorms are not actually a good. Hold on. All right, there we go. Almost missed that. I hope that submission went through. Okay, I think we're in the clear. Yeah, one of the most embarrassing things you can do in a vintage match is draw your opening 7 for game 2 and realizing you still have like Pyroblast or Mental Misstep or Flusterstorm or something that's completely irrelevant for the matchup still in the stack. Another Ancestral Recall. This time, Force of Will with it. Force blue card, Ancestral Recall. I don't think there's any matchup in any universe where I would mulligan this hand. The Shop. In Legacy, I would counter Grim Monolith rather than try to fight over the payoffs. But I think in Vintage, I want to see what the payoffs are. Hell yeah, that worked out well for me. That is handled. Let's see if I could keep the gas coming here. Ancestral Recall myself and get Mox Ruby out. Now my hand is once again flush with ways to fill it. Opponent's got 4 cards over there. That's still a lot. I hope this second round of Force of Wills keeps me alive. Ancient Tomb. That's a crazy looking Ancient Tomb. It's like a space vag. Why does it look like that? Ew. Okay. Well, Defense Grid, we're not quite use it or lose it, but I am going to tap out for the next few turns, so I will counter this. I am untapping into 3 mana, where I can pay for a Defense Grid. Yeah, Scrawly Crawly, you're in there. Or some negation. A Thundertrap Trainer would leave a mana up. Do I need a mana up? Stock up obviously just gets more cards. I'm going to stock up. Black Lotus, Abrade, Swords to Plowshares. Hell yeah. How do I want to do this? Black Lotus could get Lurrus flipping as soon as next turn. I could just take Abrade and Plow and play the control game, and I can cast all of those cards, and that stops most of what their deck does. Yeah, I don't think Black Lotus actually improves my scenario here. I need to survive this turn, and I force a negation to do that, and then I just blow up all their permanents, and I become Jeskai control. Sensei's Top. I don't have to let this resolve. Yeah, I'm actually going to rip off on that. I've just decided with the stock up that I'm going to be a control deck, and a control deck where they have Sensei's Top and I don't is not really where I want to be. Mystic Forge, that one's obviously pretty tough, though it's also good with Sensei's Top. Time Vault, a good find. Okay, that makes every top deck dangerous for the rest of time. Yeah, I'm going to upkeep Plow the Scrawly Crawly, save myself a life. Does 1 life matter in this matchup? What could I draw that would make me not want to kill the Scrawling Crawler? Basically nothing. Yeah, I'm just going to plow it before I take any damage. Paradoxical Outcome. Yeah, I wasn't going to cast that for 1 anyway. There is no Surveil Land in this particular construction of the deck. Surveil Land and Portable Hole are the 2 cards that are really missing from this deck. Okay, I have to make a decision here. I could hold Abrade, or I could just dust this Mystic Forge before it draws any more cards. I think I'm going to dust the Mystic Forge and just hope they don't top deck a way to untap Time Vault. I'm all in. They did not skip a turn. The tactical turn skip. Scrawly Crawly's in. And Ancient Tomb. Okay, we faded the worst of it. Scrawly Crawly is still pretty annoying, though. I am going to fetch here. That puts my other Abrade back into the pool of cards I could draw. It was on the bottom of my deck. Taxian Probe. And I'd really like to cycle that off. Do I want to spend 3 life to do it, or 1 and a mana? I guess it's 1 and a mana. Until Misstep. That counters Manifold Key. That's actually not a bad pickup. And I can buy Lurrus this turn, because nothing else is happening with this mana. Lurrus has nothing it can replay. This is a pretty mediocre Lurrus right now. Hey, there's that Abrade I shuffled into my deck last turn. Right, opponent's got 2 cards in hand. Urza's Saga, pretty nice one. I plummet to 6 life, and I'm going to fetch here. Get another Tundra. I think I'm going to Braid in the upkeep. Destroy target artifact. They all work on Scrawling Crawler. Merchant Scroll, wow. That's way better than Luris. Okay. Scroll for Ancestral. Wait, did I use that already? Yeah, I did. I guess I did. All right. So is it Flame of Anor then? Yeah, I guess I'll grab a Flame of Anor. Start working my way through the Saga constructs or Time Vault or whatever it is I need to kill. I'm now very interested in drawing a Thundertrap Trainer. Mana Crypt. Yeah, they get to tutor a key next turn as well, so this is definitely on Time Vault duty. Come on, Thundertrap Trainer. Turn on the goods. Wow! Moto Premium. It's worth every penny. Thundertrap Trainer found Paradoxical Outcome and things I can't take. Alright, pass. Making a Construct. Mana Crypt flip. Wonder flip. I don't know what that's like. It's never happened to me. Okay, Construct. And this is actually kind of tricky because I don't want them to get an extra turn, but if I blow up Time Vault, they might just get Sensei's Top and have a different engine. But I guess I can't really play around it. Destroy target artifact, 5 to target creature, 5 to this. Oh no, hold on, Magic Online. Let's target the correct things. Target artifact, target creature. Okay, Time Vault's the artifact, Construct is the creature. Yeah, if my life total was higher, I would have just taken a hit and made them tap their key first. But at 5, they literally just attack me, and it's like, okay, shit. Karn's pretty good, and I am in no position to counter it. Do they have a Lattice? Is that even a thing this deck plays? Hey, they actually do have a Lattice. GG. Okay. Yep. Coming up with Karn and having 10 mana while also turning off Force, which I didn't have. That'll do. Yeah, Commandeer on Karn is nice. Yeah, I feel like 2 is the right number of Commandeers, if any is the right number. I have my Plows and a Braids in. Yeah, right. Here we go. The Mystic Forge, I would Commandeer. Yeah, they have some good ones. Urza Saga is such a good card. Okay, this is a rip off the stock up. Hope to find a Mox hand. I'll keep it. Oh, and I also kept 7. Black Lotus. Blue, stock up. I did find a Mox. I also found Urza Saga. Do I value Thundertrap Trainer, Swords to Plowshares, or Urza Saga the most here? I think it's Thundertrap Trainer. Mox Ruby, Thundertrap Trainer to my hand. And then Tundra, Ruby. Hope they don't have Mindbreak Trap. Cool. Getting an extra turn. And now I can cast Stock Up again. What a card. Opponent hasn't had a turn yet. I've resolved 2 Stock Ups. Force of Will and Flame of Anor are both phenomenal in this matchup. And I have a Wizard in my hand. Alright, pass. That's a pretty vintage turn 1. What do you got to follow it up? Ruby. Eldrazi Temple, fuck yeah. Defense Grid. Are they going to win next turn? If Thundertrap Trainer hits a Mox, it doesn't matter. Alright, I'm rolling the dice on this. I can also just hold up 3 mana. Drawing a Mox would make this very easy. Yeah, they could win next turn. There are certainly sequences of draws that do that. I think I'm just going to hold up for the turn, and then next turn I can Thundertrap Trainer and guarantee Flame of Anor. Might be playing scared, but definitely playing safe. Talon Gates. Hell yeah. Just a land. Thought Not Seer. Not on my watch. Bitch, mental misstep to this. And execute the game plan. Swords to Plowshare is pretty nice. Trainer. PO. Stock up. Force of Negation. I think it's stock up. Yeah, it's stock up. And now I have to decide what this Flame of Anor is going to do. I could blow up Defense Grid and draw 2 cards. I could blow up Defense Grid and Mox. I think I want cards. Target player draws 2, destroy target artifact. Oh wait, no, I can't destroy Defense Grid and Mox. Oh, good news. That wasn't even an option. That would be picking the same mode twice. Paper only play. So you're in Academy, what's up? Okay, I hope I don't die this turn. The bad news is, if they could have killed me last turn, they could still kill me now. And I don't have any interaction. Mystic Forge has to resolve. They have Eldrazi mana still available here. Exiled an Ancient Tomb from the top. Found a Mox Pearl. Sensei's top. That came off the top of the deck too. So now they can flip top to draw a card. They can basically draw a card for 1 mana for every 1 mana they have. Black Lotus off the top. Here it comes. Here it goes. Just stop. Just chill out. Give me 1 turn. My hand's so good. Cracked Black Lotus. Mana Vault from the top. Interesting to commit Lotus to that when Eldrazi Temple's right there. Soul Ring also off the top. Jeez. Stop. Hit a land. Hit a land. What are you doing? Haven't even spin the top yet. I'm so dead. I needed this to be mediocre, and it's just been draw 6 and make a bunch of mana. Felt so good 10 seconds ago. Flesh Raker. All right, well, I'm dead to a Sensei's top now. Son of a biscuit. All right. GG. That's vintage, baby. On to the next round.
The NYSE Open is returning on June 6, 2026 to Long Island, New York. This proxy-friendly vintage tournament has the guaranteed prize pool of 8 pieces of Power 9 to be drafted by the top 8 based on final standings. Any additional profits made from the event will be added to the prize pool as on-site vendor credit. This tournament has been great the last 2 years. How often do you get to act sad about winning just a time walk? You know I'll be there. See you at the NYSE Open on June 6 on Long Island, New York. Use my link in the video description or find the New York Stacks Exchange on melee.gg.
I'm on the play in round 2 versus a non-Lurrus deck. I have a million forces, but this hand is so slow. Can I keep this? And if this is Dredge, I'm just dead. Yeah, I'm going to mulligan. Okay. I'll keep this one. And if my opponent is White Initiative, I'm going to be bummed out, but I think Swords of Plowshares goes to the bottom here. Okay. Start with the Gitaxian Probe, see what you're working with. Okay, it is Dredge. With a double hollow 1 Strip Mine start. Amazing. Okay. And Force of Will and Force of Negation. Mana Crypt. I'd be fine if they Force of Negation this. Soul Ring. Now them ripping a green card is quite good against me. I'm going to fetch my basic island. They have Strip Mine anyway. Who cares? Let's put the worst land out for them. I think they'll force this. Yeah, Force Pitching Force on that one, and I'll pass the turn. I can kill one of these hollow ones, and I have to really, really hope they don't draw a green card right now. So if they play Bazaar, there's 5 cards in hand. Tap Bazaar up to 7. Discard. Okay, Strip Mine. This play pattern feels like they drew a green card. Okay, we got away with it. I'll play a land and put Lurrus in the grip. I can Lorien Revealed off my land. I don't need to commit that floating mana to that. Bazaar. Yeah, if they find a green card in here, they go to 4 cards in hand. They can play the 2 hollow ones and still have exactly enough to force green card me. I'd really like to see this Force of Vigor go to the graveyard right now. Though I don't necessarily believe that's going to happen. 3 Serum Powders discarded. Okay. Hollow 1, hollow 1. Moment of Truth. Is there a green card over there? Get Tundra. Cycle Lorien. I think I have to get Valk here, because Flame of Anor is a better card than Lurrus on this battlefield. Do I get a draw step? Nope, there's a pause. Fudge and A. Even lost the Crypt on the way out. Crypt flip. Okay, that probably determined the game. Though my opponent does not have any dredgers. Is this just Countervine and they're not dredging? That's possible. Okay, I'm at 5. Mana Vault. Is there any sequence of stuff that gets me multiple things here? I can just kill Hollow 1 and draw. Or no, I don't have a wizard. I have to kill Hollow 1. That's all I get. Okay. When do I want to do that? I could play Lurrus, which plays Mana Crypt, which plays Mana Vault, which doesn't cast any spells. Lurrus jump blocks and I lose. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna kill a Hollow 1 in the upkeep, and then hope Lurrus is good enough next turn. Destroy target artifact, just in case they have mutagenic growth. Alright, I'm at 1. Don't Vengevine me, bro. Tapping the Bazaar leaves 1 extra card in hand. Yeah, going for the Flame in the upkeep disincentivize them from finding a Rootwalla in the end step. Like, if I main phased the Flame of Anor, and they're like, oh, you're at 5, they would YOLO flip and just try to find a Root Walla to deal 1 to me. Or at least the option would be available. Root Walla. That would have been tough on my turn. It's probably still going to be tough. Let's be honest. Okay, I'm at 1. Ghost Quarter. I do have a basic, but that doesn't cast Luris, which I needed to get. Oh no, my basic's already gone. Wow, annoying. Yeah, this matchup's really bad, by the way. It's not very popular right now because the deck isn't very good, but it is very good against PO. All right, Hollowvine. What do I do here? Swords to Plowshares coming in. I guess I want all this sort of stuff, even though they do also play to the board. Flusterstorm's kind of whatever. Hexing Squelcher is a full 0. Force of Negation's a 0. Mental Misstep. It's not a 0. They do have Noxious Revivals and Root Wallas, but the Root Wallas resolving is not really the important part of the interaction. A Braid does kill every threat in their deck. I could shave a PO and get an Abrade in. Against decks that are really good at punishing your artifacts, PO is bad if you don't have artifacts, but I'm also on the play right now. If I'm ever going to get away with sending it, now's the time. I think I will go -1 PO +1 Abrade. Okay, here we go. This hand stinks. I'm going to mulligan it. Just doesn't do anything. Been really good at drawing Swords to Plowshares. Very bad at casting it. Do I like keep this bottom Force of Will, probe, hope it goes somewhere, or do I go to 5? All right, Force of Will's out of here. This hand needs some help, but the help could come in the form of white mana. It's not like a huge amount of help this hand needs. I want to mull to 5. See how they did. Bazaar, Master, Force of Vigor, green card. Okay. I think what I'm going to do here is play out Mana Vault and pass. Do I want to buy Luris? Is that crazy? Yeah, I'm just going to pass. I have so many draws in my deck that are better than having Luris stuck in my hand. I hope they activate Bazaar on their own turn, so Soul Guide Lantern can do something. Bummer. You know how sequencing works. Come on, payoff. Okay, I mean, that's interesting. That would certainly force the action on the Force, which would cost them the Root Walla, which is not nothing. Okay, I'm going to play out Soul Guide Lantern, which has to exile my Gataxian Probe because there's nothing else in graveyards. And then buy Luris and play Academy. So if they force here, I can at least draw a card. And then I have the second Soul Guide Lantern to follow up. The Force of Vigor, pitching Basking Root Waddle. I will draw a card. Down to Tundra. It's cool that the Academy incentivized them to take out the Mana Vault as well, which wasn't really doing anything for me anymore, and it was going to hurt me every turn. They did find a Vengevine here, alongside this Master of Death, which can keep Force of Will online. Wasteland's probably going to want the Volcanic Island. Okay, I've got some options here. This will probably be good enough to flush out the Force of Will, or which one do I actually... All right, I'm going to go Soul Guide Lantern first, because I'd rather have Grafdigger's Cage. If the Force of Will has to pitch the Master of Death and collapse their engine, I'm okay with that use of a turn. If they don't have another blue card, they could try to Bazaar in response, find a different blue card. Okay, Force of Negation pitching Master of Death. That Force of Will is still over there. All right. Neither of us are really doing what we want to do here. Come on. That was off the top. We knew their hand was Force of Will. All right, I just need a mana, and we're back in. Jesus Christ. All right. Pass the turn. Come on, deck. You're full of mana. That's kind of your thing. Thundertrap Trainer, another spell that costs more than I have. What if my bad matchup just didn't also draw like the heat of the sun? Okay, and in one draw step, they have found Wasteland, and then one turn later, they've come up with Vengevine double Root Walla. Okay. Okay! Yeah, I mean, this matchup's fucking bad, but they also... That was like the top... In paper, I would call it judge, because they're definitely cheating. On to the next round.
The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here.
I'm on the play in round 3 against another non-Lura strategy. I am going to keep my hand. I've got a turn 1 Thunder Trap Trainer going here. A Mox Jet. Thunder Trap. If I knew that my opponent was Bizarre, I would probably play this turn differently, but I don't know that, so I won't play it differently. I'll take Force of Negation over another stock up. This gives me a layer of protection versus various things that might happen here. A snow-covered mountain. What do we do? I have no idea. We are off the grid. Already completely unknown to me what's happening. Okay, so this Mox Pearl taps for any color. Don't be deceived. Urza Saga. Soul Ring. Stock up. Okay, that resolved. I wasn't sure. I don't really know what my opponent's doing. Ancestral Recall for sure. And do I want Force of Will, Basic Island, Vexing Bauble? I think I want Force of Will. And those to the bottom. And I could play a Soul Guide Lantern in case this is some kind of Welder combo deck, but do I need Soul Guide Lantern in play already versus them? Sure, whatever. Exile my stock up. I won't miss it. That makes my constructs bigger. It covers the gap of like, what if some crazy shit happens right now? And also, I can draw a card for 1 mana cheaper later because I've invested the mana now. Tellurian Academy taps for more if I draw it. Melded Moxite. Okay, so this is like a painter deck of some kind. All right, they discard 1, draw 2. Basic Island discarded. Manifold Key has appeared. Mox Sapphire has appeared. Drawing the land feels great. And this costs 3 to get a tapped 2/2. I'm good to attack here. I am going to sit on my resources and untapped mana right now. I could hardcast Force of Negation, pitchcast Force of Will, and still activate Urza Saga, and then have Ancestral in my hand when it's all over. Goblin Engineer. Well, that's why Soul Guide Lantern is in play. You can have that. Time Vault in the bin. They don't seem worried about that leaving the game forever. Okay, Ancestral Recall also in the end step here. Just bust it off. When I can use Force of Negation to protect it. I don't know if this is going to be like the Legacy deck that just has Pyroblast in the main. They have Force of Will. All right, I'll Force of Negation you back because it's your turn. Force Pitching Force, pretty cool. Out of this mono red deck. And Force Pitching Sewer Valence Scam. All right. We have gone all the way to the mat fighting over this Ancestral Recall. I got 4 cards out of it instead of 2. I'll fetch a Tundra here and then go to my turn. Saga. Do I want Lotus? I can Luris here. Yeah. Can I Luris without Lotus? No. Or Mana Crypt would pay for Luris, but yeah, this is actually just better. All right. Black Lotus into play. Island into play. Attack for 6. 1, 2, 3. Luris. Black, black, black. Summon Luris. I could Soul Guide, and then I could bomb their graveyard, and then replay Soul Guide Lantern. That actually seems more useful to me than anything else that's going on. I have to exile one of my lands to do this, but it's fine. Yeah, their combo is clear. They have Time Vault Key, and then they also have Sewer Valence Cam Welder. Yeah, that one of main deck Soul Guide Lantern. Nice. Okay, we're playing against a Welder painter style. They probably don't have actual painter, but a painter style combo deck, old school, vintage. Is it Welder? I wonder if they have Mindslaver. That would make me really happy. Just make it super old school on that one. Grafdigger's Cage doesn't actually help against this deck because Sewer Valence Cam is not a creature. Pyroblast. They had enough blue to support Force of Will, but every card they actually cast was colorless or red. That's kind of a weird one. I suspect Flusterstorm's bad. I suspect Hexing Squelcher is bad. I chose this list because I wanted to get reps with Hexing Squelcher, and it's just come out every round so far. That's probably a good sign for why people are on 1 or 0 instead of 2. It also seems like with the double Squelcher for Commandeer, this list was specifically tuned for the mirror. it with basically every slot. Do I think Vexing Bauble is something I want? Probably not on the draw. Do I shave a PO or do I bring in one fewer Soul Guide Lantern? That's the final choice I'm facing here. Yeah, I'll shave a PO. I love being in the control deck. It worked so well for me last round. Okay, I like Swords to Plowshares, I like Force of Will, I like Flame of Manor. I like everything that's going on here, except that I have to play my lands one at a time, and my third one doesn't currently tap for anything. But I think the hand still rides. Prismatic Vista. I'm very jealous of my opponent for getting to play Prismatic Vista in Vintage. Welder Reno. Black Lotus. Here we go. What's that doing? Second Welder, fuck. I'm not ready for all that. Alright, I'm gonna force pitching Flame of Manor, because Merchant's Roll could grab Ancestral and refill this hand. That's gonna need some refilling. Ooh, alright, that makes that all happen much faster. I'm a little concerned about something like Blood Moon out of their deck. They've shown me exclusively basic lands. Alright, 2 cards. I hope one of them's not Time Vault. Goblin Engineer. This could tutor Time Vault. But currently their only artifact to sack is the key itself. We'll see how this goes. Time Vault in the bin. Come on, Soul Guide Lantern. Time Walk. Oh, that's actually sick. That gets me... That skips this turn of development into the turn where I actually get to do stuff. Love that. Time Walk. And then go to the bonus turn. Hey! Bang, 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 bang! Even drew the Soul Guide Lantern. The called shot from the basement. Take that Time Vault out of your deck. And... Is Ancestral Recall better than Flame of Manor here? Yes, it is. Okay. Just had to think about it. Ancestral Recall. I do have white cards in my deck I might want to draw. I'll tap the Academy first. Found a stock up and the mana to play it. We are living the best life here. Mox Emerald and PO into the grip. Yeah. Yeah. Mox Emerald. I guess I'm kind of exposed to a card like Meltdown right now. Just gonna hope they don't have that, I guess. Let's see those Goblin Engineer beats. Nope, still holding it back. Okay, every counterspell conceivable in the format is on the table right now. Force of Will, Force of Negation. We've seen those in their deck. Pyroblast, Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce. They're just in the colors for this sort of thing. I have enough mana that I can sink into Stupor, a piece of interaction. Right, I'm not going to tap Academy yet. Pick them up. Okay, they're welding into Black Lotus in response. I don't think I care about this. If they use that to hardcast Force of Negation, I'm still good. Okay, cool. Yeah, they were just trying to get me to crack my Soul Guide Lantern to draw one fewer card. Not today, Satan. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play for round 4. My opponent has a Luris. I will keep this. Got a burst of mana and something to do on turn 1. Opponent's on 6. I've got a Ruby. I've got a Tundra. I meant to hold back a Mox to play around Mindbreak Trap. That's sometimes a one-of in Luris control. And the Ruby is probably better to leave back for me than the Jet, because I am a red deck, but I don't have Pyroblast in the main, but now I can't even bluff it. I'll take Flame of Anor and build out this Jet now. Okay. That'll resolve pretty quick. Hopefully I don't just get dumpstered over the top by the mirror. But if I get a turn to hold up Fluster plus Flame, things are pretty nice. Opponent has now seen my secrets. Pull it to the side and get all up in it. Volcanic Island. This is not Demir Luris. It could be Breach, I guess. Merchant Scroll. Okay. Grabbing Force of Will. Wow. All right. So they're either rolled up to win on turn 2, or they're just playing scared. All right. I'm going to draw 2 cards and destroy their Sapphire. That's something I can do that the face-up Flusterstorm makes the Force of Will embarrassing with. Okay, they spent a card to get a card, to pitch 2 cards, to stop 3 cards. They knew about this Flusterstorm. Did they bait me into an incredible turn 2, or is this just not something they were in a position to fight anyway? Alright, I mean, I gotta be happy with that, I guess. Pitched a Brainstorm to that Force of Will, and had enough. Okay. Yeah, that was a weird sequence, but okay. Mirror match it is. The Commandeers, it's time. Gentlemen, start your engines. Alright, Pyroblast Commandeer. I don't think I want Swords to Plowshares in. I don't want Soul Guide Lantern. Like, what are we doing with these Commandeers? Because, like, now I'm in the matchup where I would want them, and the map isn't good. I guess I don't need my basic island for this matchup. And I could cut the 2 Squelchers. Is that how we're doing this? And being able to just dump my stuff and go off with impunity through all the interaction these decks play sounds nice. But then what are these 4 Commandeers for? Are they just for Jewel Shops? I guess I could play 3 Commandeers, or even 2 if I want my Squelchers in. The cool thing about Commandeer is it also beats Squelcher because you're gaining control of the spell, you're not countering it. Yeah, I guess I'll go 3 Commandeer, 1 Squelcher. And I might even flip that in the other direction. I might even want to Braid when I'm on the play, but on the draw, I guess maximize within reason the free interaction. What a strange card. I don't think I'll be playing that if I choose this deck for NYSE. Certainly not 4 of them. Okay, my hand is full of cards I like, but mid. No interaction. My turn 1 play is Soul Ring Pass. I think I'm going to mulligan this. Okay, I guess I'm in for this. Keep and bottom. I mean, Mana Vault makes my top decks better, but I do have a bunch of mana without it. All right, I'll get rid of Vault. Tropical Island. Oh dear, this is not the mirror. They played out a bunch of stuff. Pass to me. Do we have Ancestral Recall? No, we don't. Okay, cool. Blue to Delta. Mox Emerald. Soul Ring. And I'm going to put Luris in my hand, I guess. Not doing anything else here. I could have been bluffing a Pyroblast or a Flusterstorm, but I think that having Luris around makes sense for that. A Gataxian Probe sees my spread of forces. Despite having 2 forces, there's actually only 1 here until next turn when I have double blue to cast one of them, and then I can pitch the other. This can't be Oath because they're a Luris deck. What is this Tropical Island deck? Underworld Breach. Icky. Okay. Resolves. There's 2 cards in the graveyard. Merchant Scroll. That also resolves. Getting Brain Freeze. My plan is to force a negation the Lotus on the way back out. And I'm actually going to pitch Force of Will to do this, because if I get to next turn, I'm going to need Lorien to reveal. And if I don't get there, I lose anyway. Alright, lose anyway. I was a blue card short. I guess show me your deck. Alright, we've got Breach. I'll let the ones that target you resolve first. A lot of these are targeting me. Okay. You've seen enough. Alright, it's Breach. That does change what I want to do. These Commandeers look a lot worse. Hexing Squelcher I don't care about. Soul Guide Lanterns come in, cover the gap here. Flusterstorm is a bit worse. I definitely don't care about Swords to Plowshares. Do I just bring in all 4 guides, or do I want Spice of the Commandeer? Is a Cage better than maxing out on Soul Guide Lantern? Do I even need max Soul Guide Lanterns? That feels like more than I need, actually. Okay, I'm going like this. The Commandeers might just be worse than Soul Guide Lantern, but I'm really trying to give them a fair shake. Try them out. This hand is a little short, but I am going to keep it, because it doesn't take much to unlock this like crazy. It's just a land or an artifact, and we're in. And my deck is mostly those things. Pearl, Bulk. Alright, deck, help me out. Easy. Too easy. Always had it. I am going to pass the turn here. Cycling Lorien. Right, I'm going to go for a Flame of Anor in the end step with Flusterstorm up. Target player draws 2. I choose me. You want to fight over Divination, opponent? You do. Okay, I can fluster this successfully. If they spend even more interaction on this, I get to untap and PO. Okay, that's 2 Flusterstorms down to stop a draw 2. Or 2 Pyroblast down. Come on, Mox! A Mox! Oh, God. 1, 2, 3, 4. PO. Draw 2. You have a Force Will now for my 3rd draw 2? You do not. Okay. Bang, bang, bang. My stuff's back. It did hit the land, but it doesn't actually do anything. This Mox Opal not being on. Starting to hurt. Shields are down. Flareon Academy from the op. I'm going to fetch for a Tundra in my upkeep. Just a land I don't have to draw. Pyroblast. That's a welcome sight. I could Lingus here. Just get a little value Lingus going. I could also end step PO. I think I'm interested in that. Because if I lose a fight to a Fluster or Pyro here, that's just awful that they get to untap and do whatever they want. But I can afford to lose a fight on a PO in their end step and then still untap and PO. The end step. Outcome for 2. All right, I drew my 2 cards. I'll take them. Still haven't found a 3rd Mox. There we go. Back in business. Now I can actually just wheel and deal here. The POs pay for themselves. I've got a bunch of them. I have 2 layers of protection. Mana Drain, Pyroblast. I can still Force of Negation here. Opponent's got 2 cards in the grip. That fetch probably means Hardcast Force is coming my way. And they're forcing the Pyroblast, sure. That means I'm going to force the Mana Drain. Okay. I draw my 3. Time Walk, we should be off now. Pew, 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 pew. Time Vault. I actually get to float a mana. I'll float a blue. Pick all my shit up. Nice, nice, nice. Here it comes again. And I think this is going to be 4th Aerolingus plus Time Walk. Okay. Time Walk. Is that underwhelming? Could I actually try to win-win right now? Yeah, this Merchant Scroll could just be another PO. Oh no, all 4 are in the graveyard. I've done it all. I guess I'm gonna see if the Time Walk happens. The 1 card in their hand, what would it even be? Okay, big old Lingus. They're scooping to it. Cool. All right, took turns sending it in the combo. Game 3 was pretty interesting, though. That was a lot of back and forth, and choosing to fight on their end step multiple times actually did matter. It's fun when all the stuff in your combo deck's an instant. On to the final round.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
On the play for the final round, positive record, on the line. My opponent does not have a Lurrus. My hand is pretty slow, but does start drawing a lot of cards on turn 2. I'll try it. Flooded Strand, Mox Sapphire, and pass. Like, the Mox helps me get ahead of mana denial decks like Shops or White Initiative. If it's Dredge, ripping cards is what I gotta do. Okay, I get Taxian Probe. If this is Jewel Shops, we're probably just dead. Then I get to board in 4 Commandeers and live my best life. It's not Jewel Shops. Are we Doomsday? Are we Storm? What do we got? Collector Roof. All right. That guy is fine. We're just bug magic cards. Probably should have cycled Lorien Revealed off of that Mox. Ooh, all right. That's pretty dope. A Tundra, Valk, Thundertrap Trainer. They've seen the Flame of Anor. They know what's coming next if this happens. Trainer. All right, Force of Will is what I was looking for. That protects my setup of the Flame. All right, I am going to take Force of Will. that Merchant Scroll and that stock up both extremely enticing, but with my mana under duress here. Yeah, there's the Wasteland. I have my next 2 land drops lined up. That's not a huge deal by itself. It's the second and third one that might become problems for me. Fatal Push. Yeah, I respect that. I'm not going to force that shit. We take our 2-for-1s where they're offered. Soporific Springs, play it tapped. Pass the turn. A Strip Mine. I don't love that. Cycle Lorien here. I have to get Volcanic Island because Flame of Anor is a red card. That rules out top decking one of my plows to get me out of this. But I have to play to the card I'm actually looking at. Okay, so far Treading Water versus the Oof Double Wasteland. This is moment of truth. Do they have additional follow-up? Can I hit land number 3? These are the questions I have. Okay, they're out of lands to play, which means their hand is all spells. Emergency Time Walk. We're at that dicey phase of the game where I think this is worth ripping off. Every draw step from both players matters a lot. Another one of those. Someday, I believe. Hate that. Okay, they've come up with a land. They missed their land drop last turn. Suddenly have one. My life total's getting skinny here. Okay. Pass the turn. I think I'm going to let this fetch resolve. Edge Maze. Put Black Lotus into the graveyard. Wow, they don't have any faith in me killing their Collector Roof. A Veil of Summer is something I could be thinking about here by not letting them untap. Having Double Spell also is a reason to not let them untap. But I would also be unlocking their Mox on their turn. I think I'm just going to go for a fight in the end step and then untap and have the same fight again. They don't know about the second flame. They do know about the first flame and Force of Will. And I know their hand is at least 5 spells. Thoughtseize, okay. Well, Flame of Anor in response. Deal 5 to target creature. Or I could just misstep this. Alright, yeah, that sounds fine. Misstep that. 6 life remains. And Thoughtseize, such a banger. Just good card. Good magic card. Deal 5 to target creature. Yeah, as much as the Null Rod half of this, also just the Grizzly Bear half of this is a big problem for me right now. Yeah, Flusterstorm, fully prepared for that. That's why I had the fight when I had it. Now I'll untap and do the same thing, which may or may not be good enough, but we'll see what the other 4 cards in their hand are. They still know I have a Force of Will. 5 to target creature. Force, pitching Force, Force, pitching PO. I'm at 5. Collector Oof is deceased. Mox Opal, get in there. We've seen discard spells. I'll put that out. All right, 2 cards left in their hand. If they have a follow-up Oof here, I don't like that. They have a Murktide Regent. I guess that's the thing they could have. Oko's the thing they could have. Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise. A lot of scary cards could happen here. Yeah, Murktide Regent. All right, I need a Swords to Plowshares or I need to combo out and win. Do I know the position of any cards in my deck? I don't. Galarian Academy is a possible hit here. Okay, I will stock up without playing my land. 4th Aerolingus, Thundertrap Trainer, Mana Crypt. Right, I could still find Swords to Plowshares this turn. Mana Crypt, Thundertrap Trainer. Yeah, the Crypt is scary. That might just kill me, but gotta do what I gotta do here. Thundertrap Trainer, show me Swords to Plowshares. Black Lotus, that doesn't help. And the Soul Guide Lantern's a turn late. Alright, GG's. Yeah, that double Wasteland, pretty nice. Okay, Abrades, Plows. Do I want Pyroblast? And Murktide Regent, hell of a threat. I'll see how this maps out. Soul Guide Lantern's not a 0. They probably have Deathrite Shaman over there, and we've seen Murktide Regent. It's a maybe. Vexing Bauble. Stopping their counterspells is nice, but they're not going to have a ton of Mox in to shut down. I guess this is what Squelcher's for. We finally found a Squelcher matchup. Force Negation can chill. Sometimes I like to shave Mox Opal or like Mana Vault, like kind of the fringe mana producers versus Null Rod matchups, but I have way more removal and counter spells than they have Collector Oofs. I think I can shave a Flusterstorm. They do have spells I want to counter, but a lot of their stuff is creatures. I'm not messing with my mana here. I want the Squelchers. This could be a spot where I shave one PO. Like I said, decks that are good at attacking your artifacts incidentally get to attack your POs. Yeah, I'll shave one of those. Here we go. Pile of removal in. Control deck activated. No portable holes in this build. All spells. Speaking of spells, I will keep with Ancestral Recall in my hand and hope for the best. We're going to do the old upkeep Ancestral play. And I am going to get Basic Island because I'm a coward. Mental Misstep, that's the worst thing that could ever happen to me in my entire life. Force pitching stock up. I believe in Flame of Anor in this creature matchup. Oh, they had the force back. Well, I might be in the garbage. That Mental Misstep, tough beats. Pitching Gush, that's a sweet card to see. Mox Emerald. All right, deck. A mana, please. Oh, no. We were in on that Ancestral. Didn't work. Surveil Land. Dumping Abrupt Decay. Good call. I don't have any cards to kill. Underground Sea. Yeah, if their hand's too reactive, if they can't start pushing, I can start doing stuff. There we go. Right. Dr. Thundertrap, I presume. We're back in. Abrade and PO. I already have an Abrade. PO's not doing anything. PO might do something. No, I'm going to take the Abrade. Sucks, but I was really hoping to find a Mox there. Leovold, Emissary of Trust. The card's pretty good. It does die to Abrade if I can cast it. It gets plowed too. All right. Enjoy your fresh card. Please don't counter my spell. Oh no. They have something as clean as Flusterstorm. This sucks. Ouch. Yeah, that stinks. I don't know if they have another Surveil Land. It's possible I could have waited to the end step, see if they fetch in response, and then in response plow when they don't have any mana. Oh, Ancestral Recall. Now you're just showing off. Yeah, I think matchups like this are fine to positive. It's a reason to play PO, but we did keep a sketchy one on the strength of Protected Ancestral, and they had double counter. Sometimes them's the breaks. But this isn't even really over. I'm just getting attacked for 3 opponents on pretty low resources, and my hand's full of good cards. If I can get a turn. Or get the ability to cast them. Ooh, Mystic Sanctuary, picking up Ancestral. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty strong. I'm now certainly regretting not at least taking the opportunity for them to fetch in the end step. And not have 1-mana counterspells available. Interesting to take Flame of Anor in a spot where I have no wizards and Abrade does everything Flame of Anor would do for less mana. Collector, oof. Time Walk. A Mental Misstep showing up the turn after they Ancestral twice. Hey. Alright, I mean, all I can do is rip this off on the Leovold and hope it works. Yeah. Oh, I can win this. Pay for one, misstep the other. Is this good enough? All right, Leovold down. They have 3 cards in hand, twice as much mana as me, and they can take me off red. They know my other card is Abrade. Yeah, that Miracle Scalding Tarn. Showing up probably 1 turn too late. Are we back? I'm gonna Abrade in their upkeep, because if they have a hard cast counterspell here, I'd rather them tap mana on their turn to cast it. Bashes, oof. It's dead. Now just flood out, have nothing forever, and I draw stock up. Sink into Stupor. I guess I'll leave that in my hand. I imagine I will need another mana at some point, but also if they play Murktide Regent right now, I would like to not die to that. Okay. Guy is temporarily okay. A Mox, alright. Now I might want to start fighting over Collector Roof. Big draws. Alright, I will develop the Mana Vault. That one matters whether it's in play or not. The Mox I can play anytime. 3 life. Paradoxical outcome. Alright, well, this is the turn. I'm gonna go to 1 from Oof, try to bounce it in their end step, and then PO, Miracle PO for 2. I lose to everything. Orcish Bowmaster, any counterspell. I can't force back now. Bounce this Oof. Hope there are 6 cards in hand, all don't do anything. They also haven't played a land in a bunch of turns. Alright, Flusterstorm. Good to go. Draw Swords to Plowshares and play on here. Thundertrap Trainer could block. More stuff is happening in the end step. What is this? Oh, we're going to dig through time. Sure. Fair play. And, okay. Certainly they don't have another counterspell anywhere, ever. Or a removal spell, or anything. Okay, the Trainer resolved. And this is a bunch of garbage. Merchant Scroll cannot get me out of this. My Ancestral's already spent. I'm going to take Moxjet, and now the sequence I'm hoping for is Chump Block. All right, they just have it. Yeah, the sequence I was hoping for was Chump Block, draw Swords to Plowshares, PO for 3, and get out of there. Yeah, I think I would pick this matchup if it was given to me the option. If it was like, you've selected Jeskai PO for your tournament, what would you like to play against? I would say give me bug cards early and often. But that one just didn't work out. Okay, so as far as the deck goes, I like the deck when it does the deck's thing. Hexing Squelcher did not matter in this league at all, and I boarded out a lot. I did board in 2 of my 4 commandeers, but I also didn't play against Jewel Shops. This feels like a hyper-tuned list for a specific metagame. This list came from the Magic Online Champions Series Last Chance qualifiers, which are like 5-0 meat grinders. It's like you have to 5-0 or you get nothing. And if this was hyper-teched for the specifically sweaty people that these players expected in that tournament, like I don't even know if the same player would register the same deck like this in a league. Commandeer is just so crazy, and 4 of them is extra crazy. I didn't like that. I could see playing 1 or 2 before that you're just signing up for insanity. I will say this league didn't really inspire confidence, but it did inform me about some of these flex slots and where I want to put them. The deck does give you a ton of play, but you're also in the targets of everyone. Much to consider with NYSE approaching on June 6th in Long Island, New York. Power 9 prizes to the top 8. Click the link in the video description. I'm going to leave this one here. John, thanks for the opportunity to play it. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon to support the channel. I'll see you next time.